Tonight on CTV News at 6, a controversial chemical could make a comeback. An effective ice melter reconsidered after a rough winter for roads.
I'm looking for the city to have as many tools in their toolkit as they can to respond to our snow removal challenges.
It's the nightmare of every parent, every teammate, family, friends.
Alberta's hockey community mourns 3 players killed in a crash.
Obviously, just tragic. You know, you're thinking about their families for sure.
And dense development far from the downtown core.
Now we're really seeing some serious movement down there.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. After a rough winter for drivers, calcium chloride could be coming back to the streets of Edmonton. City Hall decided to stop using the effective ice melter years ago due to environmental and infrastructure concerns. Connor Hogg has more.
This is kind of an example of road salt and stuff sits in here and then starts to eat away the whole body, like this one here.
Don Meister has worked on cars for decades. He's seen what road salts can do to vehicles. He says he's seen less damage since the city switched to sodium chloride instead of calcium chloride.
Still, salt is salt, right? It's gonna do its thing.
But some say it doesn't melt snow as well as the old stuff, which is why Councillor John Morgan is ready to reopen the debate about calcium chloride.
I'm looking for the city to have as many tools in their toolkit as they can to respond to our snow removal challenges.
Morgan made a motion to reintroduce the controversial compound Council voted to stop using in 2019 due to concerns over its impact on undercarriages and the environment. Right now, the city only uses it on bike lanes and sidewalks. The province also uses the compound on the Anthony Henday.
The original test, from my understanding, was a much more concentrated solution than what I would like to see on our roads.
In the time since this was last looked at in detail, the chemistry hasn't changed.
Chemical engineer Arthur Potts says the city needs to expand the scope of its studies before starting to use calcium chloride again.
It was a liquid spread. It goes much more into crevices and other areas. When you start to look at kind of environmental impacts, you look at how invasive it can be and therefore the impacts of that.
Back at Buddy's garage, Meister says the best way to make sure salt doesn't eat away at your vehicle is to wash it regularly, using a pressure hose to get inside the wheel wells and other spots where salt collects. Still, he says many of the vehicles he's seen lately had more issues with road ruts.
I fixed a panel one day. The very next day, going out of his driveway down his back alley, he ripped the other side off. I mean, that has nothing to do with the salt. That's just rutty, terrible roads.
Morgan says he's waiting for city administration to bring forward its ideas. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
A new South Edmonton neighbourhood is taking shape, one being built up instead of out. City Council has laid the groundwork for dense development around the Century Park Transit Centre, a new neighbourhood that will be privately owned, including the road network. Jeremy Thompson reports.
In the 15 years since the Century Park LRT station opened, this land to the east has mostly been used for park and ride, but it was always intended to be temporary.
The plan for Century Park has gone through 3 or 4 or 5 different iterations about what it's going to be or not, and 2 market crashes, and now we're really seeing some serious movement down there.
K&H Developments plans to turn the area into a dense neighborhood. Preliminary renderings show a dozen residential towers with retail at street level. The developer is requesting special zoning rules from the city to make building multiple towers easier.
Without the approval today, I think we would struggle to take another step.
Council had questions about bike routes and parking, with the bulk of Tuesday's discussion focused on the neighborhood's future Main Street. The top image is the initial design, pedestrian-focused with no parking, wide sidewalks, and driving lanes shared with bicycles. The bottom image is the new design, one the planner says will allow businesses to thrive.
It really helps leasing when they can rely on great visibility of parking right on the street itself.
The gut when I looked at this was like, WTF.
As a housing advocate, Jacob DeWang welcomes the density next to transit, but he told council the new Main Street misses the mark.
Pedestrian-oriented retail streets are nicer to be in. They are more successful and more vibrant.
Ultimately, council approved the new zoning, including the design that adds parking to the main street.
We can't mandate that someone spends millions of dollars to build something that we would like to see. We have to work with a proponent to see what is possible.
Full development will take years. The city estimates between 6,000 and 8,000 people will eventually live here. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Edmonton is adding more than 30 new LRT cars to its fleet. The city has signed a deal with Hyundai Rotem Company for 32 new light rail vehicles. The contract is worth roughly $300 million. Production will begin this year, with the cars expected to be in Edmonton in 2029 and 2030. The city says it requires new light rail vehicles for Edmonton's expanding LRT network to move people quickly and efficiently.
Because we're expanding the Capital Line and adding stations, and because we expanded the Metro Line north into Blatchford and added stations there, we need more vehicles to provide that capacity that the system needs.
These cars will only run on the Capital and Metro lines. The city and HRC signed a contract in 2021 for 46 cars for the Valley Line West LRT project. A small Alberta town is reeling after the death of 3 young hockey players. They died yesterday on their way to practice when the car they were in collided with a gravel truck. The 3 played for the Southern Alberta Mustangs in Stavely. JJ Wright was 18 years old, a left-winger from Kamloops. Cameron Casorso, also 18, was born in Calgary before moving to Kamloops. He was a goalie. And Caden Fine was 17. He was from Alabama and moved to Alberta to play hockey. Tyson Fedor reports.
22, 32, and 15. 3 jersey numbers representing 3 teenagers, all killed in a crash Monday near Stavely.
I know there are no words that can make this loss less brutal. Your sons mattered.
JJ Wright, Cameron Casorso, and Caden Fine, all players on that team. Their jerseys draped over the side of a table, sticks laid out, and their pictures a painful reminder of what has been lost.
It broke my heart. I just felt like something was pulling me here, that I needed to be here just to pay my respects.
Karen Dubois dropped off flowers and a candle at a memorial outside the Stavely Arena. It's the home of the Southern Alberta Mustangs, a junior hockey team playing its inaugural season in the United States Premier Hockey League. A drive to practice for the 3 players Monday morning turned deadly. They attempted to cross Highway 2 into Stavely at 55th Avenue. That's when they were struck by a semi-truck hauling gravel. Their car pushed into a ditch. All that remains are tire tracks and a broken light pole. The speed limit on this stretch of highway, 110 kilometers per hour.
At this point in the investigation, we don't believe there was anything criminal involved. And since 2019, we have a report of 3 injury collisions at that exact intersection. And from that time in 2019, 2 fatality collisions.
Stavely has a population of a little more than 500 people.
I was speechless for a while. What goes through your mind is the families, how it's going to affect these families.
This community celebrates around hockey, and Nanton's mayor was emotional as this tragedy hits close to home. She too is a billet mom to players on this team.
We don't just host these boys. They become a part of our homes. Another plate at the table, another pair of skates by the door, another son.
Following the day's news conference, the Mustangs and family members have asked for privacy as they navigate the days ahead. Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Stavely.
A plan to add doctors to emergency rooms to help triage patients has been delayed. Hospitals Minister Matt Jones announced the role last month. It came after the death of a man who waited hours for care at the Grey Nuns emergency room. The program was supposed to start over the weekend. The head of the Alberta Medical Association says doctors want to participate. He says there are issues to be worked out, including pay, billing, liability, and paperwork. The spokesperson for the minister says it continues to work with the AMA. He says work to recruit for the role is ongoing. After the Royal Alexandra Hospital's midwifery program was moved out of the city, some support is returning. The president of the Alberta Association of Midwives says it was able to work with the province to keep a reduced version of the program active for now. The program moved to the Fort Saskatchewan Community Hospital last month. The new program is set to open next week. It used to provide support around the clock. It will now cover 12-hour day shifts 7 days a week.
The shifts will now just be covered by either midwives who used to work for that in-house midwifery program or other community midwives who are able to do shift work in addition to their community caseload, but it hasn't changed the number of midwives that are in the area.
There are 56 active registered midwives in Edmonton. The PCA said the number of midwives in Edmonton areas has increased by 40% in the last 4 years. Alberta's premier believes the province should have more input on judicial appointments. Danielle Smith wants changes made to the appointment process at the Alberta Court of King's Bench, the Alberta Court of Appeal, and also the Supreme Court of Canada. To fill vacancies, Smith wants to see a special advisory committee created that would consist of 2 people recommended by the province. She says Alberta will withhold funding to support new appointments until its input is allowed. There are currently 3 vacancies on the Alberta Court of King's Bench. An Edmonton man is recovering after a stranger broke into his home and stabbed him early this morning. Police say it happened near 113th Street and 73rd Avenue just before 6:30. The attacker left before police arrived. The victim was taken to hospital. He was the only one in the home at the time. The Edmonton Oilers are on home ice tonight for the last time before the Olympic break. The Oilers are hosting the Toronto Maple Leafs. In a Players Tribune article released last night, Connor McDavid writes about growing up watching the Leafs. McDavid goes on to write, "I want to be remembered as a winner, but not just anywhere, here. And it's just the game that I love ever since I was a little kid. It's been the same feeling." He also comments on his excitement to represent Canada at the Olympics. Speaking to media today, he reflected on his time this summer at Canada's orientation camp.
It just gives you the sense of being a part of something bigger than just your team or just yourself. When you get all 3 Canadian teams together like that, talking about what we want to do over there, that's exciting for sure.
Men's Olympic hockey starts next week while the Canadian women's team plays this Thursday. The opening ceremonies take place on Friday. Ice Castles Edmonton is now closed for the season a few weeks earlier than anticipated. The forecast shows we're in for several days above zero. The Ice Castle opened just after Christmas and dealt with extreme cold during construction. The company had originally told us it expected to stay open until late February, weather permitting. And it has certainly warmed up. Josh is out and about tonight in Keswick for the Full House Lottery. Josh.
Yeah, you're right. Temperatures today hit 7 degrees. I think tomorrow is going to be even warmer. But we'll talk about that in a moment. I want to introduce you to the president and CEO of the University Hospital Foundation, Dr. Jody Abbott, to talk about this spectacular house that we're in. One of 4 grand prizes in the Full House Lottery.
Yeah, this is an amazing home valued at over $2.4 million.
You're underselling it at amazing. We're going to try and take you downstairs if the signal for the camera is good enough. There's like a Nordic spa downstairs.
There's a meditation area and a spa and a climbing wall for the kids, and there's a bar. So you can do anything you want down there. It's an incredible
And
house.
that's just the lower level. The upstairs is unbelievable as well. You should just really come down and see this and get tickets as well, because you're helping to support cardiac care, and that's really what we're pushing this year with the Full House Lottery, right?
Yeah, Full House Lottery is supporting the Mazankowski Alberta Heart Centre and the CK Huey. And it's amazing because 1 in 4 Canadians are impacted by cardiac health and cardiac disease. So being able to purchase a ticket, just 1 ticket, or you can buy 100. The reality is you can win a prize, but you're also really creating better cardiac care for people here in Alberta.
It's outstanding. And you can win some pretty great prizes. $5 million in prizing, 4 grand prizes. There's the Big Bucks calendar. You can win cash every day, 31 days of getaways as well. Really, really important that people help support this lottery, though, right?
It certainly is, and we're lucky because Albertans always support Full House Lottery, and the partnership between the University Hospital Foundation and the Royal Alec Hospital Foundation matters because we're actually saving lives. So please, everyone, go to fullhouse.ca and get your tickets.
There you go, Dr. Jody Abbott. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
You going to go sit in that sauna downstairs now?
Yeah.
I'll be there in a little bit. Let's take a look outside at temperature. temperatures right now, 7 degrees for a daytime high. We get to -1 early this morning. So temperatures just barely below the freezing mark this morning. I think we'll stay above zero overnight tonight, which is good news because there is a chance of some showers in the Edmonton area again overnight tonight. It's 4 degrees in Edmonton right now. There's the cloud cover. You can see the showers and freezing rain off into northwestern Alberta, most of northern Alberta under a freezing rain warning. We're not seeing any of that precipitation in the Edmonton area right now, but this is what we're looking at. So you look through the lens of the CTV drone, mostly cloudy skies. CTV drones brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations, St. Albert, Edmonton, and Century Mile. Another cloudy day on the way for tomorrow, but as we mentioned right off the top, could see a record-setting day with temperatures in double digits. Closer look at that. Show you a little more of this spectacular house in just a few minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you, Josh. A food delivery service that sells misshapen produce at a discount is expanding across the Edmonton area. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has more on how it's helping cut back on food waste.
Workers at Odd Bunch are busy packing orders at their new warehouse in Edmonton.
Really does help us stay very rooted to the local community. Helps us get orders out to both Edmonton and Calgary. So it's been a game changer for us.
Odd Bunch is an online food delivery service that sells imperfect produce from farmers and growers. Food that's often turned away from the grocery store.
So this could be an undersized apple. It could be a misshapen pepper. Perfectly good to eat, but maybe just doesn't look perfect.
Part of the company's mission is to reduce food waste. According to Second Harvest Canada, more than 46% of food in Canada is wasted every year. Avoidable food waste makes up nearly 42% of that wasted food.
Sometimes companies will default to the easy route, which is sending it to landfill, right? And that's the worst outcome for food that really deserves to be eaten.
While these fruits and vegetables might not be good enough for the shelves, they're still good for you.
The nutrition for fruits and vegetables, they depend more on things like the soil quality, like weather and other growing conditions.
This registered dietitian and associate professor at Toronto Metropolitan University says the concept is a great way to create access to healthier choices. The selection of produce changes with every delivery.
You'll have some exotic items, like this week we had fennel, or we had yellow zucchini.
We can get stuck in like a lot of the things that we're typically used to eating. So trying different foods, different flavors, and experimenting can help us change our dietary habits.
Less food waste means more food on your plate and money in your pocket. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
Up next on CTV News at 6, a potential harvest of tundra swans.
When a swan's flying over, you cannot tell the difference.
Conservationists fear a sensitive species will be shot instead. Also,
even with very few samples, like just one sample, still it got like 70% AUC, which is a measure for accuracy.
How Alberta researchers are now detecting a major threat to fish.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Hunters may soon get the opportunity to harvest mourning doves and tundra swans. The Canadian Wildlife Service is currently collecting feedback, but some wildlife experts oppose the idea. They say species of concern could be caught in the crossfire. CTV's Tyler Barrow explains.
Individual hunters and outfitters across the prairies approached Ottawa with the novel idea. Can they start hunting mourning doves and tundra swans in their provinces?
Tundra swans are something that hunters are already encountering while they're out there hunting other species, and some would like the opportunity to hunt them.
If approved, it would allow for an expected harvest of less than 10,000 mourning doves, and 500 tundra swan permits could be issued in Alberta, but some worry it could lead to a case of mistaken identity. Pictured is a tundra swan on the left and a trumpeter swan on the right.
Some slight differences in the bill and the face, but to any hunter, when a swan's flying over, you cannot tell the difference.
Dave Duncan is a hunter, but he can be seen here holding a trumpeter swan during his time working with the federal government as a biologist. Trumpeter swans were once considered a threatened species under the province's Wildlife Act. Now, they are a species of special concern. Duncan is against the proposed hunts.
There's some people that want to shoot anything and everything.
The Waterton Biosphere Reserve Association says there are under 10 pairs of trumpeter swans that breed in its area on an annual basis.
Don't want any of the birds breeding here to mistakenly be taken out by a hunter.
The Alberta Conservation Association supports the hunt, saying other jurisdictions manage mistaken kills effectively, and there's no reason to believe Alberta could not do the same. Still, biologist Lauren Fitch wonders about accidental kills.
The issue is, if a hunter shoots a trumpeter swan, which is a protected species, is he actually going to admit to that?
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
Alberta researchers think they've found a cost-effective way to detect and predict whirling disease, which can be lethal to fish. The disease is caused by a microscopic parasite and can easily spread throughout a watershed. CTV's Kevin Fleming has more.
He's looking at a map of the Oldman River Basin. Alberta Environment and Parks came to Pereira Ramazi in 2018 for help detecting whirling disease here.
So at that time they had I guess less than 100 sample points, because they need to send crew, they need to take samples, they need to take it to the labs or universities to test whether actually the parasite exists there or not. So it's very costly, and you cannot do that for everywhere around the watershed.
Ramazi and a team of researchers from India, Iran, and the universities of Victoria and Alberta worked together to come up with an artificial intelligence model to track the presence or absence of the aquatic disease.
AI models are typically very data demanding. So, for example, for face recognition, some of the models are run with like millions of faces. Now here we're talking about 100 samples only out of 100,000, so it's less than 0.01% or so.
Whirling disease was first discovered in Johnson Lake, northeast of the Banff town site in 2016. Parks Canada lowered the water level and used gill nets to catch all the fish to prevent the spread. Russell Greiner wasn't confident the team could come up with an AI solution with so little data, but it was able to make surprisingly accurate predictions.
What this analysis told us was just describing where it is right now, and maybe some degree of forecasting where it'll be tomorrow. That doesn't say anything by itself about how to prevent it or how to address it.
Researchers say this was a one-off study, but could have a wider use.
That can hugely impact the economy, the recreational fishery, and so on. Not just whirling disease, it can be, if the right data is given, it can work as an early warning signal for other diseases as well.
Ramazi says the AI model could become a valuable tool for watershed managers around the world. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Still to come, mayors of the mall.
I like all their stores, but the two I love the most is Lululemon and Sephora.
What these twins got up to on their big day in charge of West Edmonton Mall.
We're here in the Full House Lottery Grand Prize home with my new friends, Archie. Archie, did you enjoy the warm weather?
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be even warmer tomorrow, Archie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, temperatures, much like my buddy Theo, climbing. Are we going to get a record, Theo?
Pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure, too. Your forecast is next.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Twins have taken charge at West Edmonton Mall. The sisters have been named mayors of the mall as they fight to overcome medical challenges. CTV's Marek Takash shows us what the girls are doing during their big day in office.
I want this one. Okay, I want this one.
Adley and Addison Urachek started their day at Build-A-Bear Workshop, the beginning of a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Build-A-Bear was super nice. I got a cat, and it was super fun.
The 9-year-old Urachek twins have been elected mayors of the mall. The pair spent the day taking advantage of West Edmonton Mall's attractions before closing out the day with a sleepover at Fantasyland Hotel. They were also treated to a $1,500 shopping spree.
I like all their stores, but the two I love the most is Lululemon and Sephora.
The twins were picked in part because of their medical histories with the Stollery Children's Hospital.
Our journey with the Stollery has been a long one. When Addison was first born, she was a baby that we didn't have really any answers to. She would turn blue, stop breathing at some points, and fast forward a few months, she ended up having open heart surgery at 14 months for atrial septal defect.
Addison has visited the Stollery 6 times. Her sister Adley has had similar challenges living with a heart murmur.
You don't think about any of the medical journey. You just get to have a day where you have fun. You forget about everything. You get to just be a kid and not worry about your diagnosis.
What really secured the mayor's new titles is all the Juracek family has done to give back to the Stollery.
They've been helping us for years with our Mighty Millions lottery. They're fundraising in their schools. They've been ambassadors at our Snowflake Gala. They're on Radiothon. Like they and their whole family are just huge advocates.
The event is part of the Stollery's No Bounds campaign, aiming to raise $1 billion for a standalone hospital. Merrick Takash, CTV News, Edmonton.
All right, back out to Keswick now, where Josh is spending his evening in a really nice house.
Oh, you know what? It's the grand prize home in the Full House Lottery. There are 4 grand prizes, including this house. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been in a lot of lottery homes over the years. This one might be my favorite. This house is almost perfect. You have a sauna just outside, like through the doors right there, overlooking a man-made lake. And it could be yours. Fullhouse.ca. There are $5 million in prizes. And don't forget to add on with the 50-50 and the Big Bucks calendar, where you could win cash every single day through 2026. This is what it looks like outside right now with River Valley Sky Camp. It's brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. 4 degrees in Edmonton right now after hitting 7 for a daytime high today. Almost got to 8, 7.4 will end up as the daytime high. -4 in Fort McMurray, 2 in Grand Prairie, and 3 for the high in Red Deer. There's your freezing rain warning across the north, high level south into the Peace River region, Fort McMurray and areas north. Areas further to the east, you're going to see that freezing rain push in late this evening, overnight tonight. Areas further to the west and northwest, while the freezing rain has been ongoing through this afternoon. There's a little bit of flurry activity that popped up there just off to the north of Whitecourt. Looks like that's falling apart. You can see south of Grand Prairie, you've got some showers. That is all still a long ways away from Edmonton. So for the next several hours, it's just warm and cloudy here in the city. Most, maybe all of the precipitation will stay north of Edmonton. I think there's a much better chance that you get snow changing over to freezing rain. Fort McMurray, Slave Lake may even see some showers or patchy freezing rain in the Edmonton region. Watch how that sweeps in from the northwest and kind of falls apart a little bit after midnight. So it's going to be scattered showers, if anything, very similar to the little bit of precipitation that we had in the Edmonton area last night. And the good news is that temperatures stay above 0. So you're not going to have freezing and icing on roadways and sidewalks and on your windshields when you wake up tomorrow morning. Should just be wet. There's the sky conditions tomorrow morning. Partly cloudy in the Edmonton area. We'll see some increased cloud cover through the afternoon. And then no precipitation for Edmonton, but again across north, especially northeastern Alberta, tomorrow night you might see some snow up around high level and then another chance of freezing rain for Fort McMurray. So could be 2 straight nights with some freezing rain in the Fort McMurray area. Temperatures right now at 4 degrees in Edmonton. It's -4 in Fort McMurray. Red Deer just barely above the freezing mark and still 6 degrees in Jasper right now. We'll see temperatures here over the course of the next 24 hours slide to about 2 degrees and then just hold steady. There's that chance of a little bit of precipitation around or just after midnight, and then partly cloudy tomorrow morning. 4 degrees by about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and 11 for a daytime high. I mean, there's a chance we may even hit 12 tomorrow. We should easily soar past the record high, which is 9.4 from 1991. So that one probably falls. 9 degrees on Thursday. We'd have to get warmer than 12 on Thursday, and I don't think that's going to happen if we were to set a record. That's still way above average, though. And those 5s and 4s for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Those are about 10 degrees above the seasonal average for this time of year. Chance of some more showers as well on Sunday. The cool down, it's really not cold, but a little bit cooler, closer to 0 for daytime highs early next week. Again, fullhouse.ca. You can help support Royal Alex and University Hospital Foundations and their cardiac care over the course of the rest of this month. You can grab your tickets and potentially win big.
All right. Thank you very much, Josh. Coming up, courting Canada.
Given the moment that we're in, everything's on the table, so we're looking at all the opportunities that we can get our hands on.
South Korea pushing hard for Canadian Armed Forces spending, and
I woke up one night in the middle of the night with crushing chest pain, and even then I thought, I'm too young for this to be a heart situation.
Are you at risk the high toll of heart disease and stroke? Stay with us.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by Basement Systems Edmonton. Contact us today for all things basement-y.
In its quest to win the bid to replace Canada's aging submarine fleet, South Korea is wooing the federal government with the promise of more economic benefits to help industries hit hard by Donald Trump's trade war. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. The South Koreans showing the federal government's point man on defense procurement what more could be made in Canada. Hanwha says the howitzer armored vehicles used by some European forces and needed by Canadian soldiers could be made by auto workers in Ontario facing job losses.
The manufacturing automated lines that we have now, we could take that here and use the technology that we have and implement that in Canada for the development of these vehicles.
Hanwha did something similar in Australia. It built a factory outside Melbourne after Ford and Toyota shuttered their plants.
Given the moment that we're in, everything's on the table, so we're not we're looking at all the opportunities that we can get our hands on.
Hanwha is considering linking the howitzers to its bid to build up to a dozen submarines for the Royal Canadian Navy. One of its partners is also pitching building the torpedoes that go in the KSS-3 sub in Canada. The country's top naval commander says Korean soldiers will help train Canadians, and trade will strengthen ties between old allies.
Secretary Pugh, as the Secretary Fuhr and Ministry of National Defense An has mentioned, Canadian forces deployed more than 26,000 personnel into the Korean War. And the Korean people do not forget the sacrifices that the Canadian forces had during the Korean War. Korean citizens are always thankful for this.
Hanwha is committed to becoming a bigger presence in Canada. It has just opened an office in Ottawa to position itself for future contracts. Canada plans to spend 5% of its GDP on defense by 2035. Judy Trin, CTV News, Changwon, South Korea.
Prince Edward is addressing his brother's alleged role in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
I think it's all really important always to remember the victims and who are the victims in all this.
His remarks follow fresh Epstein documents released linked to his brother Andrew. The former prince and Duke of York faces growing pressure to give evidence over what he knows about the late sex offender. Andrew has denied any wrongdoing. Every 7 minutes, a Canadian dies from heart disease or stroke, and a new study suggests it's because we're not doing enough to stay healthy. Here's CTV's Heather Wright on what that means and what you can do to turn things around.
What started as mild heartburn suddenly became much more serious for Elena Trainoff.
I woke up one night in the middle of the night with crushing chest pain, and even then I thought, I'm too young for this to be a heart situation.
At just 40 years old, Trainoff had 100% blockage of one artery and partial blockage of 2 others. She was taken in for emergency surgery. Nearly 11 years later, Trainoff credits changes to her lifestyle for keeping her healthy.
I quit smoking, I lost weight, I changed my eating habits, I radically reduced the amount of stress that I was under.
According to a new report from the Heart and Stroke Foundation, 9 in every 10 Canadians have at least one risk factor for heart disease and stroke. Lifestyle risks include smoking, poor diet, stress, lack of sleep, and lack of physical activity. And while some risk factors like genetics, gender, age, and air pollution can't be changed, experts say 80% of premature heart disease can be prevented with lifestyle changes.
We're surrounded by unhealthy food options. We aren't as physically active as we once were. Most people work in sedentary jobs. So for those reasons, it can be more difficult, and we have to make conscious effort to live healthfully.
And while some risk factors, like smoking, are declining, others are on the rise. For example, 1 in 4 grade 12 students say they vape, while the number of Canadian adults living with high blood pressure has increased every year since 2000.
While the death rate from heart disease and stroke has decreased by about 80% over the last 70 years, these diseases still cause 1 in every 5 deaths in Canada. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
A historic moment for Stephen Harper today.
Had anyone told me that I would be standing at this podium today for this event, I would have been quite simply in utter disbelief.
The former Prime Minister's official portrait was unveiled in Ottawa ahead of the 20th anniversary of the election of his first Conservative government. Coming up, record production.
We'll eventually run into a situation where we just won't have sufficient pipeline capacity.
What increasing oil producing in our province may mean for a new pipeline.
Encourage students to explore those career opportunities and help them build the necessary skills.
And a new program in central Alberta is encouraging hands-on trade experience. Looking at the markets, the Canadian dollar closed near 73 cents U.S. Oil was up $1.07, closing the day at $63.21 U.S. a barrel. Gold gained $282. TSX ended the day higher, up 204. The Dow Jones was down 166. Canadians are sitting on $2 billion worth of uncashed government checks. Documents recently tabled in Parliament show almost 4 million paper checks were issued to Canadians over the past 4 fiscal years and remain uncashed. The checks were for various tax refunds, pension checks, and other CRA benefits. The administrative cost for the government to issue a check is about $1.83. That means issuing the 121 million checks mailed out from April 2022 to September 2025 likely cost taxpayers about $222 million. The UCP government says Albertans should expect the upcoming budget to reflect the reality of a more difficult fiscal environment. The government's budget will come down February the 26th. In a press release, it says lower than anticipated oil prices and a growing population are putting a strain on Alberta's finances. The last fiscal update in November showed the province in a $6.4 billion deficit, again due to lower revenue from non-renewable resources. 2025 was an up and down year for oil prices, but that didn't slow production in Alberta's booming industry. The Alberta Energy Regulator says a new production record was set last year thanks in large part to increasing capacity. CTV's Tim Brooke explains what it means for the economy and the future of a new pipeline.
The work in Alberta's oil sands was relentless in 2025, and global markets are taking notice.
People are paying attention now to the Canadian oil sector as a viable investment play.
Helped along by increasing Asian demand, production in the province last year averaged 4.1 million barrels per day, about 4.2% higher than in 2024. It's a new record.
People have been waiting to have market access, and when TMX started with 600,000 barrels a day of additional capacity, that made it easier for companies to turn up the screws a little bit and get more production out of existing projects.
And the expansion isn't done yet. South Bow has signaled it would like to grow, and Enbridge and Trans Mountain will add capacity soon. The latter helped along by the provincial governments in Alberta and British Columbia. Still, experts believe more is needed.
We'll eventually run into a situation where we just won't have sufficient pipeline capacity again. We don't know exactly when that's going to be, like the late 2020s or early 2030s.
Unsurprisingly, Alberta's energy minister agrees. He tells us the province needs to increase capacity and build new pipelines to avoid bottlenecks in the system, which will hurt the value of our oil and trading confidence in our ability to deliver. Value is already on a lot of minds. Right now, WTI sits around $63.50 a barrel. The current budget forecast for $68. So, come February 26th, most say to expect the new provincial budget to have even more bad news.
There's so many projects that are mature and are at payout now, but when prices go down, it can have a big impact.
An impact the province hopes is softened by another strong production year and perhaps more federal help. Tim Brook, CTV News, Calgary.
Young people now have the opportunity to get hands-on trade experience to see if it's the right fit for them. Red Deer Polytechnic has opened its new Central Alberta Learning Space. It can accommodate over 550 students in a single year. Areas on campus were renovated to provide them with a more hands-on opportunity at a younger age. RDP says the space ensures equal access to students across Central Alberta.
And if we don't encourage students to explore those career opportunities and help them build the necessary skills and develop the confidence in order to enter those skilled trades areas, then we're going to run into a situation where the productivity of the country is going to go down because there's not going to be a workforce to handle the pieces that need to be done.
RDP says there continues to be a growing need for more skilled tradespeople in the province as retirements loom over the coming years. Still ahead, uncracked and uncooked.
Doesn't everybody draw a face on an egg at Easter and put it back in the fridge?
The journey of an egg about to celebrate 60 years in the fridge.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV.
For more than 5 decades, a Canadian man has kept the same egg in his fridge. CTV's Adam Sawatsky finds out why.
When David Jevney was almost 6 years old, he woke up before his parents on Easter morning, took a raw egg out of the fridge, and drew a face on it.
Why not? Doesn't everybody draw a face on an egg at Easter and put it back in the fridge?
David doesn't remember why he did it or why his parents kept it, but he can't forget it being a constant while growing up.
And when you open the fridge door, you would always see it looking back at you.
More than a decade later, after David moved out, the egg stayed put.
A little bit of family history.
Does it have a name?
Egbert. With 2 G's. There's no better name for an egg. It's the only name for an egg.
Egbert remained in his parents' fridge, uncracked and uncooked for 50 years, until they passed away and David packed it up to move in with him and his wife, Lise.
The reaction was probably, oh my goodness, okay, well, do we have to take it to the next house we're moving to?
But after moving with the egg 5 times since, Lise has grown to appreciate it every day.
It's like, oh, right, there's Egbert. So good morning. Yeah, I haven't said good morning, but I'm probably saying it in my mind to him. Yeah.
And soon they'll be saying happy birthday to him. Because although Egbert's insides have started rattling,
he's still in there.
His outside remains unscathed.
Not one crack.
Egbert's kind of inspirational.
He is. He's strong.
And he's set to celebrate being 60 years old.
How long is Egbert going to stay in the fridge?
Forever, as long as I'm here. And the older you get, the neater it is.
And the older we get, the more precious we realize life is. So when we can find something that connects us with our past and improves our present, why not preserve it into the future?
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Esquimalt.
And that is our show for this evening. Thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, visit our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca, or you can find us on the CTV channel on YouTube. Have a good night.